Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. And here we go. It was actually a little bounce back after yesterday's crazy debacle with that, whatever it was called. And yeah, it was the AI from China. I'm trying to DeepSeek. That's what it was called, DeepSeek. And it was a debacle. Like I said, it was a huge overreaction. As you can see today, they started bouncing back. The Mag 7, a lot of other stuff was red, but that'll bounce back as well. I think it needs a little time to set up after that big sell off yesterday, and we'll get cruising through, see what's going to be popping for tomorrow and what's going to be looking good. So, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. I hope everybody had a great day locking in profits. There were some great opportunities out there. And there's going to be plenty of them. So, here we go. Let's rock and roll and see what we're looking at. GCTK. Let's go, GCTK. It was actually not looking too bad today. It was a little flat, but it does look like it is trying to set up. It's just been running right here. Did look, it was curling up at one point, and then it was kind of flat at one point. It does look good in that after hours. I mean, it maintained that 9 cent area all day and didn't pull back into the eights. It didn't look like, and it does look pretty healthy. So I would keep an eye on this GCTK tomorrow. I know we've been watching it. It hasn't really got moving yet, but we're looking at it to try to curl back up and get cruising here. So let's look at that tomorrow. And this B hat. Holy cow, can you believe they just got hit with a delisting notice today after the market closed? So that dipped down pretty hard, like 22% in the after hours. And yeah, they three offerings and then all of a sudden a delisting notice. I mean, that'll crush a stock right there as it's about to curl up and curl through. It was getting to be in the most perfect spot too, looking like it wanted to bounce right there. And that thing is not going to help it for sure. So yeah, I would definitely gonna have to look at the B hat, see if they can get the extension on that, and it'll have to bounce off of that. But it was getting set up in the right spot, and then all of a sudden you get a delisting letter after three offerings in a week. I mean, again, that's why these penny stocks are they're just a mess anymore. They're just not the same. The companies just destroy the stock traders. I mean, it goes up and then they just crush you. So you can barely even lock in your profits. You have to be so fast. And then they have offerings and delistings and reverse splits and you name it. Any which way that you're going to lose, it's going to happen. So be careful with these penny ones. I'm telling you, I say it all the time, but it is a different penny stock market than it ever was, and it's not a different one in a good way. It's kind of been a disaster. I'm not gonna lie. So that is your B hat report right there, and yeah, Blue Hat Interactive Entertainment Technology delisting letter today, and we'll see how they go about that. So was trying to set up, looking real good there, and then boom. That'll knock it out of the knock it straight down. And that rhyme was setting up as well. And I'm not saying it's not, but it did pull back today, and it still looks really good. It's curling up here. So RIME, just keep an eye on it. And again, these penny stocks, they start curling up, they look great, and then all of a sudden they pull back. I mean, this thing was curling up to the MACD. Check it out. Look at the chart. It was curling up yesterday. It had momentum. It wanted to hit it, and then somehow it went down today. So I have no idea. It's the most bizarre thing ever. And that's why I tend not to play with them unless I know it's like absolutely perfect, going to run like right then and there. But if they still have to set up or anything, you just have no idea what's going to happen with these things. So they are tough, and I'd rather play with the big caps. Look at CYN. That was setting up, and that's down some more. It's all the way down to 42 cents, and that one had pulled back. Now it's in the basement. Had a nice dip back today. We'll see if it wants to pop out of the basement right here. If not, that's going to be a dud. And yeah, it was setting up perfectly and then just pulled back that one day. It's all it took to throw it off. ADD was setting back up yesterday and then bam, that just pulled back today. And it's just like, holy cow, these things just can't keep it. This one still has potential. ADD, it could bounce off the bottom. But again, it's just, I mean, they're just a disaster. They're not even, it's tough. I'm telling you, we'll start just going through, I actually started going through my scanners and trying to organize them a little bit better. And so we're just going to do that. go through the Finviz scanner. We'll go through a handful of them, and we won't really focus. I mean, they're just such a mess. We'll just look at the ones that are trying to set up instead of going through all of them because they are just, I mean, they're usually a disaster, to be honest with you, most of these penny stocks. And maybe we'll start hitting more mid caps or like maybe like the 30, 40, $50 range. We'll look at them guys as opposed to more penny ones. We'll just go through the scanner and whatever looks good that day, we'll pick them out. We won't even follow them anymore because they're almost like kind of crazy. Bong Prichan likes that. I think a lot of people will like that, to be honest with you. So I was thinking about it while I was doing the list today. And again, I was watching B Hat, and I think B Hat was the one that makes it happen. I mean, you heard even Zach Morris even said it. After that and Rhyme, he had them both. And somebody was asking if he had sold today. I'm like, I don't know if he sold. I don't even know what his position was, to be honest, which I have no idea. But if a delisting letter comes out, it don't matter if he sold or not. Thing's dipping down hard as hell. So he could be hit too. Because I'm telling you, the chart looked beautiful. And then all of a sudden, after the after hours, you get hit with a delisting letter. And again, they can get the extension and it'll pop back up. But who wants to be stuck in that thing and be looking at it and riding it around and they're just a disaster anymore. So the penny stocks are tough. And again, then you got to be up at 4 a.m. to hit them at their maximum profits and all that good stuff. So we'll go through the scanners. We can easily see which ones are setting up right there. And then like I said, I'll have my scanners. They might be different ones that you never heard of, but they're going to be moving. I mean, we'll pick runners all the time. Not that we don't, but these penny ones are just all over the place anymore. They're just all, like I said. So anyway, ADD, maybe it's going to pop off the bottom. Who the heck knows with that thing? I mean, I was looking at it today, like, man, these things are just crazy anymore. Same with the SYRS. I mean, you could go through them all and they all start setting up perfectly and then have that dip and rip. So you got to kind of wait for that as well and make sure you time them out perfectly because they start setting up and then they pull back from like 20 cents all the way down to like 18. And that's a pretty good dip on these things. And then they got to set back up and I'm telling you, they're just all over the place. So just my best suggestion and yeah, even TRNR. I mean, this thing wanted to get moving multiple times here. It looks like it's making a base now, and it does. This one actually doesn't look too bad, but still, I mean, it just like had set up like multiple times and then kept pulling back, and now it looks like it does want to try to set up. We'll keep an eye on it and see if it does, but again, it might. It does look like it's making that base, so we have a better shot with TRNR than probably a lot of them. Like I said, B Hat can run off the extension news. GCTK is trying to get set up there. So that one don't look too bad. Elab wasn't too bad. That was a good hit the other day, but it immediately just pulls back today. And that's enough. Like I'm saying, they just try to run up fast, and then that's it. They used to have multi-day runners, and yeah, B had Exco stocks missed it, and B had they had a delisting notice after the market closed. They got a delisting letter, so it went down like 20 something percent. It said I forget what it even said. What it went down 22%. It says on Finviz. So yeah, it definitely dipped hard. Anytime you see one of them letters, it's gonna dip. And like I said, it can pop off the extension, but now you're trying to pop it off the bottom again, and it's just crazy. Elab popped up the other day, great run up, but what'd it get up to here? 407 area, maybe a little higher, and now it's at 192. So if you didn't get out of it up there, you're back under probably where you bought in. So they run up really quick, and then they're back under where you're buying in at, and they're just all over. Like I said, Holo wasn't a bad one, but hold on, let's look at WTO. This one was trying to set up as well, and these China ones went like really quick. It was like almost one day that they were setting up. I'm not saying they're done, but they wanted to run hard. A couple of them did the other day on Monday, and then a couple of them just kind of got set up. This EJH ran up twice, though. It was up today. I saw it up 11 cents or so. It was running around, and it ran up yesterday. So we were looking at that 66 to 90. It closed at 82. Not looking bad. So keep an eye on this one. That one's actually not looking too bad right there, EJH. And Holo is running up again. We kind of picked that out, and it doesn't look too bad going into tomorrow, but we'll see. It is curled up there, looking pretty healthy now. Let me look at the after hours here. 202 to 218. It closed at 192. And yeah, it's trying to curl up there. It's hitting the 50, has some resistance right there at that 220, but it is curling up really nice, but it's not guaranteeing it's going to get through that 50. It should try to move tomorrow, I would imagine. So keep your eye on Holo because that looks pretty good for tomorrow. And CLEU, let's see what that's up to, that China Liberal. This thing's been moving up in the top and keeps running up here. We said it would kind of be a momentum play. 749 to 795. It's at 780 and still might move up there. So if anything, watch for this one still for a momentum play. Play that CLEU. And that's what we'll check out for that bad boy. ADTX. Now this one here. And this is a great example of them just sitting there running around forever. This one looks much better, but let's see. It does look like yesterday was its bottom. I've said that a million times. Remember, I said I wasn't going to say it yesterday, and maybe I didn't jinx it because it does look way better. So keep your eye on this ADTX. It will be amazed. Like I said, when it runs, it's going to move. It's just like that ALLR was. So it will run there. It's just a matter of it's been pulling back, bottoming out like 95 times. Does look really good to try to crawl up now. So we'll look at that in the morning and see what it wants to do there because that one's not looking bad to try to move. And this UMGP, this might have been our best bet right here. UMGP, and it's an OTC. Thing went from like 2 to 4. Where was it today? Yesterday it ran up, and then today it's run up there. So this thing started at like 0.0270, and it ran up to 0.0373, and it's at 0.03, like 3.5. So that thing like ran up and didn't look too bad. So yeah, that is probably the best one. It's an OTC one. So how crazy is that? UMGP right there. LICN. Let's look at Lichen China because this one was actually pulled back hard today. And I was wondering if this was going to be its dip and rip situation. And that's exactly what I'm saying. This one went opened at 14. It got up to 17 and came down to 8 and it closed at 9 cents, which is a heck of a dip from like the highest 17 down to 8. So it did take a massive dip. We'll have to look and see if it wants to actually pop off. It's not showing me that it wants to rip yet. So there you go for another one with a big dip right there. It was already down huge, and then it has that dip. So pretty crazy. TAN, TANH, this one is trying to get set up here and it is trying to curl up. We'll look at it tomorrow to see if it actually does get set up. And again, they are trying to curl up, and some days they're moving, and then the very next day they're dipping down and looking flat. This one opened at 16, got up to 17, pulled back to 15, but it did close at that 17 high, so it doesn't look too bad. So we will keep an eye on that TANH right there. And that duo, that was looking really good yesterday, and that pulled back today as well. It was down like 2 or 3 cents here. And let's see what it's doing. DUO. And yeah, it just kind of it was trying to get that 20 and 50 to meet up and get into the channel. It doesn't look bad though. It actually is trying to curl up. Keep your eye on this tomorrow. I'd like to see what this does. It could jump up there. It has a weird look on it, I'll tell you that. And that's at DUO. So I'm going to look at that bad boy and see what it wants to do right there because it does have a weird look. It is one of them China small caps at 58 cents. And it is looking strange to me. Weemy, the WIMI, we talked about it yesterday. It was going to run up. It did. And then today it just kind of ran around, pulled back a little bit, didn't do a whole lot. What did it do? 98 to 103. It came back down to 93. Or, yeah, 98 to 103, down to 93, and it closed at 99. So it's actually looking a little better. It's setting up. I don't know if it's exactly ready tomorrow, but it is trying to set up there. Has a few days, it looks like, and maybe the China small caps will still be running when this one's ready right there. So that is WIMI, and that is that Weemy hologram. At GMHS, let's look at Game House Holdings. This is a shell company. You can see that. And it went from, oh, that went way at the top all the way down to the basement really, really quick right there. Let me see what this is doing at GMHS. And yeah, it's just kind of pulled back right there. not showing me that it's really ready to curl up. So I wouldn't say it's going to be bouncing tomorrow. So we can just keep an eye on that. And this VCIG we looked at before, we said we were going to keep it on the list just to keep an eye on it. They had some crazy news coming up and some kind of I don't even remember AI news with the video they were buying something to make something. I forget. Laptop Travel posted it yesterday. But yeah, we'll watch it pull back and then we're gonna check this bad boy out. So we're just gonna we're gonna keep that bad boy on the list because like I said, they had some crazy news going on. And this is at the bottom right there, and it does look like it wants to try to do something. So we'll try to catch that pop on there and but it's not ready yet. This LSH, remember I said that looked actually really good for today. It did run up a little bit. I thought it was going to cross through and get moving. It went 224 to 245. It closed at 208. So it never crossed through it, like got to the line and went flat. I still think it's going to try to set up. It looks like it is and we'll have to look at it tomorrow. It looked like it wanted to blast through there today, so it obviously got caught up on that 20. It didn't cross the MACD. We'll see if it will. It did run up a little bit, but it was like I said, I thought it was going to really get moving the way it looked. It was up a little bit. I mean, you were definitely up on it. It just didn't run like I thought it was going to. And how about that PET, that good old pet? That was down just a hair, and this thing is getting set up, guys. It looks like it's going to roll off that MACD. I would say give it another day or so, and it's going to look really good. Let's look at it tomorrow and see where pet is because it looks like it's trying to get right in that spot right there to try to get moving. So we will absolutely keep a look at PET and see what that wants to do. And we'll see if that wants to get cruising right there because it's trying to get set up. It had that weird look. It's in between that channel and it's keeping a nice base above the MACD. It looks like it wants to roll off of there. I just don't see I just don't see it pulling back real hard, and I can see it rolling off that MACD. So tomorrow we're gonna watch that one as well. PET and LGCI. Let's see that. I don't even see that. Hold on. Is that a might be an OTC or I don't even see an LGCI, so I'm not sure what that one was. I never even looked it up before I put it down. Is that what I wrote? LGCL. Let me look. Is that I write LGCL? If anyone knows, yeah, that's one. Hold on, LGCL. I probably wrote then. Hold on, LGCL. That is Lucas GC. Okay, we do have one here. Um, that one's just kind of trying to base out on the 20, not in a really bad spot, I can't say. I don't, oh, wait, it ran up in the after hours, didn't it? 82 cents. It, again, with the FinViz, it drives me freaking insane when it does this. It shows it at the 57 cents. I'm not looking at the price at all. In the top right corner, it says 57. I didn't even look at it. I'm just looking at the chart. It says it's at 57 cents. It closed that. And then in the aftermarket, it says 79 cents, up 21 cents. Well, just show it going up there so I don't have to look. Because as soon as I go to the trend spot, I'm like, whoa, that thing popped up. And then I'm like, oh, there's the chart. It looks, because I was about to say, it doesn't look too bad. It kind of wants to jump off that 20 right there. And that's what I was basically saying. And I wanted to see what it looked like on the other chart. And then it was already popped up. So yeah, it did run up in the after hours, guys. LGCL. And like I said, it just drives me nuts with the FinViz. We could cruise through these so much faster. And because now I'm just staring at this thing. And if I had just known what it already done, we would have just saved like a minute or two because I wouldn't have had to jump back and forth and like kind of figure it out. I knew something was going on. You can just tell with the setups. I don't know. It's weird. It just jumps out at me and you can kind of see it. But yeah, when it doesn't actually show it to you, it's kind of weird. So, oh yeah, what's the China stocks moving in the after hours right here? So we'll have to keep an eye at LGCL. This one is oh, I didn't even look. It is a China one. There you go. There you go. It is moving in the after hours, and a couple other ones, PWM and MFI, and these things are all up, so they might be moving tomorrow. They just kind of pulled back, so we'll look at it. We'll look at them bad boys and check them guys out. But yeah, here you go. This is a China one. I wasn't even looking at it. LGCL. So Yep, it did run up there in the after hours. And like I said, I just wish the FinViz showed it. And hopefully they fix that because I'm telling you, it would make it, we'll crush it. It's so much easier to see when you can just see two charts, boom, boom, run through it, and we'll just know, bam, bam, every single stock. I mean, it'll be so easy. It just, I almost have to hesitate in the pre-market and stuff because you just look at this and then I look at the trend spider. I know, but I like to have the two charts to just line up. So that's just explaining what I look at, and so yeah, it just throws me off. No big deal. It just takes a little longer. That's all. Anyway, LGCL China stock is moving in the after hours right there. And we'll just run through this list real quick. PWM. Let's see, Prestige Wealth. This one it pulled back today, and again another one. So all of these have that look. So if you didn't tell me laptop travel, I'd have no idea that this thing was even doing anything. It does say it's at 137, but it's showing me at the 107 on FinViz. And then I hop to TrendSpider and it's 139 up to 160. And I can clearly see it's at 133. It's sitting on the 50 and not looking bad. So that is at PWM. And then MFI. Let me see. And I'm just explaining it to you for you guys that check out. And I was going to say, check out the YouTube. I have everything's updated and all the shows are up there. I'll put this one up tonight. I've been trying to get better with putting them all up. I'm like, I just put them up right after. It'll be so much easier. And so yeah, we'll just do that. And I have to figure out how to do the live streaming for real. I looked at different things and I don't know. It's just kind of I don't know what to go with. So I got to figure that out. And then we can just live stream the shows and you guys can just watch the charts. So I think that would be much better. And so yeah, we'll have to figure that all out as well going forward. But anyway. MFI, here's another China one, a Hong Kong one actually, and it is curling up, looking good, up 6 cents, up in the after hours, and it does look really good. I would keep an eye on that for some momentum tomorrow. MFI, AHG, that is pull back, but again, the fit. Oh, I was gonna say that's why you need good charting here because you can see. That's why I point this out because it's so important that you have accurate charting. It makes the biggest difference, and that's why I'm saying I know I can rely on my trend spider, so I don't have to worry. But if I had to rely on the FinViz like this, I'd be in trouble now. And like I said, I've used it forever. I pay for the Elite. And I've talked to them. I told you, and they're trying to see what they can do. And yeah, it just since the market changed so much at 4 a.m. and everything, it's just too much changed, and they have to stay up with the times there because it's just a little bit too crazy. And I can point it out. Every one of these is a great example right here. So yeah, AHG at 119 and actually, this one says it's still at 119. Finvis says it's up, but doesn't show it up. So, but you're telling me it is up right there. And yeah, so that's odd, but we'll have to see that one. That usually doesn't happen. Jay-Z, and not the rapper. He's in trouble usually right now, I think, hanging out with P. Diddy. But this Jay-Z, this educational company from China, is curled up right there. It did go up in the after hours and it's looking really good. So you want to keep an eye on that. And that is up like 11%. And your SXTC, this is one we've looked at every time that the small cap China ones. Oh, yeah, this one's looking really good, guys. You might want to keep an eye on this guy, SXTC, 49 to 56. It's at 49 right now and looks really good right there. So keep your eye on that SXTC, and that is the China ones, and they are running right there. Licho something, you got it, SXTP. He was on that too. He just posted it. So, oh yeah, that one's looking really good. I'll even post out that list from Laptop Travel because them bad boys are moving right there. And let's keep on cruising through our list here, and then I'll go through and see what you guys want to see. I was just looking at that, and here we go. Let me see. Oh yeah, I didn't even know what that one was. It was LGCL, and I didn't realize STSS. Let's see where we're at here with STSS. A couple people mentioned this because I had a huge dip today. That's why. And let's see right here, STSS. Oh, wow, that was a big old dip. Opened at 115 and came down to 37, and then it's at 47. So we might have to add this to the list for sure. Now, is it going to bounce? It actually, guys, I would look at this in the morning for that bounce. It has that look like it very well could. And 4 a.m.ers, on Webull, that's when it's going to bounce. So check out this STSS, and I'm saying it's going to look for a bounce, if anything. So just at the moment, and then we'll see if it wants to set up. But that's STSS, and that SXTC we just looked at, and it is on the list for tonight. So there you go, and we know that's already looking good. CRKN, that Crown Electrokinetics, that one pulled back and it went back into the basement. And there's another example of these penny ones that just, I mean, it couldn't even stay out of the basement there. Like it got over to 20. It still looked good there on the 21st of January. And then the 22nd, it drops down and then that's over. It's like the craziest thing ever. So, oh well, Laptop Travel's heading out to like Edinburgh. That's sweet. Have a good trip, dude, and a safe one. That's pretty crazy. You do travel a lot, I must say. That is wild, dude. You are Laptop Travel for sure for a reason. He's always going over to Asia and all over the damn country, and I mean all over the world, not the country. He's going over the world. Anyway, Crown Electrokinetics. This one is pulling back down there. And like I say, these penny ones, they just can't hold up anything. And then on that January 21st, it was up there perfect. And then yeah, it just dips down under the 20 again, and then it comes back into the basement for no reason. So it's just either the short sellers are getting them. I don't know what the heck goes on anymore. It's just bizarre, to be honest with you. So anyway, we were talking about that before. And let's keep on cruising with Wolf. This one was up a little bit today, and I think this one is going to try to bounce back up. It had that nice dip yesterday. And let's see, I know it pulled back a little bit, but it was up a little. 478 to 482, down to 413, and it closed at 462. So I did see it in like the 460s, 450s, and I didn't realize it even opened at 478. I thought it was a little lower than that because yesterday it came down to like 413. And but yeah, let's see this one gets set up right here at Terra Wolf. I think it still has a little bit of time and it'll have to get set up. I think a lot of them do, to be honest with you. RR is Rich Tech Robotics. And a lot of these were way at the top, and then obviously that deep fake yesterday was obviously a big it just cut these down pretty good. And once they dip that hard, they're not just going to start bouncing back the very next day. It just doesn't happen like that. So they have to get set back up and try to move again, get momentum and all that nonsense. Like I say, I think China absolutely planned that one perfectly. They knew exactly what they were doing right there. And Rich Tech Robotics, RR, that one pulled back down to some support. It could pull back a little more. We'll have to look at it tomorrow to see exactly what it wants to do. Let me look at the after hours just to see what it did. It does look like it's going to pull back more, guys. So that one looks like it might pull down. Minerva Neurosciences. This one was cruising today up 31 cents. NERV. 240 to 280 and it's at 280. I would look at this tomorrow for a little momentum play. If anything, NERV. I didn't even see that today, to be honest with you. So yeah, that was running the last 2 days. I haven't seen this at all. It's a biotech one and looks pretty good. I would check it out for tomorrow for a little momentum right there. NERV, good one right there. LTBR. Light Bridge, I remember looking at this ad pull back. I remember it ran up into the top not long ago. It's actually looking good again. This is that electrical equipment one. Pretty sure laptop travel like this one, and it did run up the other day on the 23rd. It got up to 1044. Right now it's at 724 or 725. It opened at 651. So it is getting curled back up, it looks like, and does want to run up there, I would say. So keep an eye on this LTBR. I would say it looks pretty good right there. LTBR, that looks like it's setting up to keep running up, I would think. And this R cat, let's look at it. Red Cat Holdings, it was getting better looking today. And we can go through the quantum ones real quick. I'll do that at the end. I have them. But yeah, R cat definitely was looking better today. We'll see if it can keep itself tomorrow. It did want to try to curl up, but I'm not saying it's hitting the 50, so it's hitting some resistance right there. It looks solid. We'll have to look at it because anything can happen with these things. You guys know that. So let's make sure it definitely wants to run in the right direction. As a matter of fact, I'll run through these real quick. RGTI. Oh, let me type it in first and the right way. RGTI. It was running around today. Let me see what it did. 1277 to 1350, and its low is 1210. It closed at 1298, so it did close up, and it's hitting that 20. And like I said, I'm not. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. The RSI looks like it wants to go up, but I'm not so convinced it's ready. So just be careful. I was looking at them all today, obviously, and I wasn't so sure that they were ready. QUBT, the same thing. It's sitting at that 50. I'm not convinced it's ready to pop through. QBTS, D wave quantum. It's on the 50, and again, it should pop off of there. And I'm not even so sure it's going to. So I'm not so sure these things want to absolutely get cruising yet. I'll have to look at them in the morning. They all have that same look. Like the RSI wants to curl up, but the MACD still wants to come down. And nothing's giving me that, that big signal that's saying, yeah, we want to get moving yet. So I would hold tight and just see where they want to go. QMCO, Quantum Corp came back down to the support of 25. Can't really tell if it wants to hold there. So we'll look at that. And then that QTUM is the Defiance Quantum ETF. And that looks like it does want to pull back. So we have to be careful with that. And that IONQ, that also looks like it wants to pull back. I wasn't convinced they wanted to curl through yet. That's why I didn't go through them yesterday because I didn't really want anybody to really jump into them because I wasn't convinced, like I said, that they were going to be moving. Yeah, IONQ might have been up a little bit today, possibly, but again, it does look like it has some pullback on it. So that's why I just left them and I just wanted to see how they finished up in the after hours. And again, they're just not looking like they want to get flying yet. So we'll look at them as well. And that is our RCAT, and then the rest of them quantum bad boys. And since we did RCAT, we'll do the lion and the rest of the big cats. The lion was just kind of running around today, LGHL. And I think it might actually get set up to run 15 to 16. It did close at that 16. Had a weird look. It like made a night, like almost like this 90-degree, like right angle, straight, flat, like wanting to curl up. I don't know. It's hard to explain right here, but it definitely looks good. The 20's up here at like 17 cents. So it is looking nice to try to get up there. And that is your lion, the Jag X. That was moving today. It was up 4 cents. I thought it was. And it was setting up and it looks good. Again, is it going to get through that MACD? It looks like it should, but I'm not 100% sure it can get through this 98 cent area and then that 98, 99. So keep an eye on it, see if it can. If not, it's going to hit that line, bounce back down, and have to get set up. It'll go through the next time, but it looks like it wants to. To me, I just don't know if it 100% will. And I think the cheetah was up today. CTNT, let's look. It was up 19 cents, and it was looking much better. And it did look like it kind of almost bounced off the bottom right there for some way. So, we'll have to look at that. Let me see. CTNT right here. And yeah, it does look really good, guys. It can get through that 268 and 270 area. It'll get moving. So keep your eye on CTNT. And that is our cheetah because it's looking pretty good right there. And there's your big cats as well. So there we go. We did our quantum computer hardware and big cats, wrapped them all into one with our cat. So just went right off the top of my head and nailed them all off. And well, I do have the quantum ones written down, but the big cats, I just do the cheetah and them. I just kind of remember them. I don't know. NIVF we were looking at this one, and I saw this today, and I honestly think this one could be setting up. I'm glad someone mentioned it because I forgot to write it down today, and I think this one could be looking really good, guys. So keep an eye on that NIVF. If you want to look at a penny stock that's actually looking halfway decent at the moment, I think that one might be looking halfway decent right there. So take a look at that one and EVFM. EVFM. It's not that. It's like EFVM or something like that. Didn't I do this last time? I forget what it is. It's something like this. EF I forget what the heck it is. Maybe it didn't it get like delisted or something, and I did this the other day. I swear I do this like all the time. EVFM. Yeah, it was an OTC. That's why it wasn't before. That's why I done this every time I put it in. I go, wait a second. This one pulled down today. It looks like it's dipping down, so I'd be careful with that one right there. And that's EVFM, and it is an OTC or EYEI or EYEN is Inovia. And this one's actually trying to get into the right spot, guys. So keep an eye on Inovia. Every time we say that, it does run really nice. It tried to run today. It opened at 6. Oh, I thought it did open up. Where did it open yesterday or close yesterday? I thought it was up. It closed at 6, so it did open and actually came down to 4. I thought it was just up today, and it looks like it came down in the after hours. So we'll have to look at that. It did say that over here, but not showing me again. But if I look over, it says it's minus 27% in the after hours on FinViz. I can see it on my chart, and I didn't notice it. Obviously, I didn't look at it in the after hours, so I didn't know it pulled back like that. It was looking really good earlier, and that's how quick they can change too. I mean, it's so wild. I know I looked at this and I was like, "Oh, we got to keep an eye on that one, Inovia," and boom, now it looks terrible. So, um, yeah, crazy in the after hours. I wonder if something happened. Let's look. Today, I know. Oh, they announced the one for 80 reverse split. There you go. What have we been talking about? Looked perfect, guys. And then all of a sudden today, they announced the reverse split. I mean, it's bizarre. It's just nonstop. You get this thing in the perfect spot. It ran up the other day too. I mean, they got it up to what? Like the almost the 7 cents. This thing could have went popping, and now it's just going to reverse split and just crushed it. So people were probably jumping in because it looked great, and then they pull that reverse split, and now you're beat. So yeah, it's bizarre. I'm not gonna lie. These penny stocks are very bizarre. I was looking at this. If I was in the penny stocks, I probably would have been like, "Oh, I'm probably gonna grab that one for tomorrow." And then after the market closes, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll just do a 1 for 80 reverse split, drop it down 30%, and you're screwed." It's like, holy cow, how'd that happen? This thing looked perfect, and you just don't see that. You never used to see things like that before. It's happening nonstop with these things. B Hat, all of them. Inovia. I mean, just go through the list. You just see it nonstop. It's actually kind of it's frustrating and like yeah, it's aggravating just because that's not how they should run, and you almost have to. You have it's almost forcing people to pivot another way. They're almost too hard to even get into anymore because they just constantly do this every single one, and this one's not even being pumped by anybody, I don't think, and this one's just did it. So I mean, and this one looked beautiful. Like I said today, I was looking at Inovia just because it had been on our list. I have a little list I run through. I saw it today, and it did set up nice, and then boom, after the hours. Bam, a nice reverse split. What did I say that was? 1 for 80? Holy cow. Did I say that? 1 for 80. Damn. They're diluting that thing pretty good. So, yeah, that's never coming back, guys. So, it's crazy. I'm telling you. You don't ever seen anything like it. So, that's going to reverse split. So, we'll just write RS there. And BLNK. Let's look at our, oh, blink charging. How'd that make it over here? I didn't even know. That's getting into the basement. So, that's a Jolie's jam right here, and it is in the basement. We'll look at it and see when it's ready. But that's at blink charging, and we look at that each day. And we'll see when that one's ready, because when it's ready, it'll bounce up. It did take a nice dip. ALR popped up into that top yesterday. Another one looked great, 139 to 199. I mean, it did have that big spike up there, but it could have stayed up there at 12.5 million. And then today, 155 to 167, and then right back into the 140s, pulling out of the top. Is it going to pop back up? It could, but it's hard to tell. And if I had to guess, I would say no. So yeah, it's just crazy. Like this thing could have easily kept its maybe it tries to build a base, but I highly doubt it. I mean, it did have that 20 and 50 meeting up. It looked great. And I was surprised when it wasn't running up a little bit higher today, or at least trying to like really keep that momentum going up. So we'll look at it tomorrow, ALLR, and see if it does have some momentum, because, like I said, it doesn't look bad at all. And I was actually surprised it wasn't trying to move a little bit higher with some more momentum. It had some good volume and everything. SES, this one's setting up down there. It's just a little flat and getting ready. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one and see when it is ready. Just a little setup and pull back there. So we will check that out and see when it's getting completely ready to set up. And SLXN, this ran up today. I know that. It was up 77 cents. And what it do in the after hours? That's the question. 58 to 167, and it closed at 158. So it did close up there. And this one's about to hit the line. It looks like it's going to keep that momentum, but I probably wouldn't trust it, to be honest with you. Hit the 20, and I could see it hitting that MACD line, coming back down, and having to set back up. So, and again, it popped out of the basement. You know, they pop out, they pull back. So if I was in it, I definitely would have tried to get out of that bad boy, just thinking it was going to pull back. So yeah, that's what I would have been looking at right there. So keep an eye on SLXN, see if it does pull back. I'll be surprised if it does get through the MACD tomorrow, and that's what you're looking at for that one. And FFIE, that Faraday Future Intelligent Electric, I know this one really well, and it is a huge pullback down there. So, oh, what did it do in the after hour? Let me see. It ran up 35 cents. It doesn't show me. I'm telling you, it drives me nuts. It went up to 170, it says. Here it's at 167, and it did curl up. So it does look much better right there. It could have bottomed out there yesterday, and then today got ready to rock and roll. We'll keep an eye on this FFIE and see what it wants to do tomorrow. Obviously, we know that one pretty well. And let's look at that STSS and see what that's up to right now. Didn't we already look at this thing and had that really nice pullback? Yeah, we just looked at this thing, STSS. So we'll look at DRMA, because I just noticed the chart and I was like, immediately knew it had that. That's that one I told you guys at 4 a.m. to make sure you keep an eye. It could bounce. I just knew that chart as soon as it popped up there. DRMA actually is setting up nice. I'm not gonna lie. People are talking about this one, and it is trying to curl up. I mean, it looked way better in the market. Let me see. It came down the after hours. It looks like, yeah, 4 cents doesn't show me that. And 120 to 126. It's down to 117 right now. I have to look at it. It looked great. Has to get in this channel right here. It's trying to at 123. So see if it can get up there tomorrow. Like I said, it's at 117 for that DRMA. It did look pretty good today. It didn't look terrible. MGOL, let's see what that one's doing. That MGO Global. That one's pulling back, and that is a U.S. agency one. I always think this is a China one for some reason. And it did take a big old dip here. So we'll have to see what that one, if it wants to roll off the MACD. If you're looking at that, that's what you're looking at for that one. And MGOL and LYT is that lightest technologies. And this one does look like it's trying to crawl out of the basement right here. So this one could be a pretty decent one. It's a software app in wherever, United Arab Emirates. And yeah, it's trying to get out of that basement tomorrow. I'd keep an eye on that LYT. It does not look bad at all. So keep your eye on that one. I'll mark that one, LYT, not looking bad. And HEPA, a lot of people talking about good old HEPA. It was up today trying to bounce out of it was bounced out of the basement and trying to crawl up here. Let's see what it's doing. Good old HEPA. Yeah, I mean, 21 to 28. It closed at that 21. It opened and closed at the same area. And let's see. I don't know if it's exactly ready to rock and roll yet. I think we might have to keep our eye on that tomorrow. I think the bottom's in down there at that 15.5 cents, and you're at like 20, like I said, 20, 21. But yeah, I think HEPA, I mean, could it get moving? It could, but I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look at it tomorrow and see if it really wants to. It's not giving me that look like it's totally ready right now, but I'm not saying it doesn't want to. TC is touche, and it is too cool because it is cruising up. It did cross through the MACD. It ran up yesterday. I remember we were looking at this thing before, and it ran 87 to 195. It closed at $1, and then today 115 down to 94, but it's at 114. So not looking bad right there for TC. Just an interesting look after yesterday's run up. But I would keep an eye on it and see if it wants to run up some more, and that would be a strictly a momentum play for that TC. And TRIB, this one was up today. We mentioned this yesterday. It was on the scanner. I remember we saw it. It was up 60 cents right there. TRIB, and it went 92 to 168. It closed at 120 and does look pretty good. I'm not going to lie. So keep an eye on it. It has to get up over that 145 area. And if it can do that, it'll get cruising. So keep an eye on it's trying to get up into the top. TRIB, Trinity Biotech. And we looked at it last night when I was going through the scanners, and it was looking pretty good right there. So there is your TRIB. And we had looked at it before too. So it was definitely on our list. And how about Moderna? It looks really good, actually. Somebody had mentioned it. I don't know if it was on Stock Twits or whatever, but it was looking good. And I guess maybe they have bird flu coming back out. I don't really know, but their earnings are coming up on the 14th, so you got enough time away from that. But mRNA is looking pretty solid to run up a little bit. It did run up today, 41.76 to 45.15. It's at 44.78, and looks like it wants to run up some more tomorrow. So keep an eye on your mRNA, good old Moderna right there. It is setting up and does look decent. So you can keep an eye on that. And let's take a look at CGTX. CGTX is Cognition Therapeutics, and that one's trying to get set up. I'm not sure if it's exactly ready. Let me see what it did in the after hours. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. I'm not saying it's definitely popping off that 20 tomorrow. It looks like it might have to set up, but it could get set up. So keep an eye on it if you like that one. Um, has some good resistance up here at like 85, and you're at 77. So it could jump up to that area and just watch it when it gets to that. And that is CGTX and MCVT, Mill City Ventures. This was running up, and this has just been in that channel. Remember, we were looking at it, and it was just running back and forth. I was saying that time that this one runs around a lot, and it did 280 to 330, and I remember it closed at 312 today, but I remember it was popping up there in the beginning of January. It run up a few times, and I remember looking at it going, wow, this thing runs around, this is starting to run around a lot. It looks like it's curling back up, guys, and running. So it's a credit service company, and keep an eye on it. Just watch for any pullback into like the 270 area, but it does look pretty good right there. MCVT. So you might want to keep an eye on that one. And LGCB, I think it says LGCB Linkage Global. This was on a laptop travel list, and let's see what it wants to do right here. It does look like it's trying to set up 27 to 31. It's at 29 right now, and it's looking pretty good getting through that 50. And your 20's coming down. It's at 37, so I'd watch it to try to run in that channel right there, if anything. And that is LGCB, and that is your Linkage Global right there. And OST. Austin Technology. This thing's setting up. It was running up today and looking pretty good right here. OST. This was on the list last night, wasn't it? Um, let's see, 255 to 390, and it closed at 280 the other day. This thing's been running around a lot too. I'd keep an eye on this OST. This thing's been running around and has a curl up look. So definitely one to keep your eye on because there's a lot of movement on it, so you can play it, but it's also looking pretty decent right there. So That's a good one. OST and COEP. This one could be topping out. I mean, it ran up really, really high. Ran up more than I thought it was going to. Let's put it that way. I think that top was 1288 area. It came down to 1121. So I would be careful with COEP. It could be pulling back. I hope people locked in their profits with that one. And Buru, Buru, Nubaru. This one was just kind of pulling back here, and it doesn't look like it's ready to do anything, Buru. So we'll have to see what it wants to do and if it's ready to set up. And what is that? NEOV. NEOV, let's look at this. It's just pulling back right there. NEOV. This one could be bottoming out here today at that 315 area. That's what it looks like. So I would keep an eye on this one. It could be trying to get set up. We'll see if it is. And that's NEOV. And then that DEVS, DEVS, that dev stream, that pollution in Canada one, and pollution control in Canada. This one I think is trying to get set up. Like I said, it was trying to before it came down a little bit. And it does look like it's going to try to cross through when it gets curled up this time. It's just taking its time. I don't know what it's exactly waiting for. I'm just looking at it. The 20 is like 66 cents. It's at 59 and a half. And yeah, it could come up there. It looks like it wants to. It's just been run around. It looked like it wanted to a few times, and it just hasn't done it. So I'll have to look at it. It's just like an interesting one. It does look like it wants to set up and run. It's just if it's ready to do it immediately is what I was trying to figure out. So we'll keep an eye on that DEVS. It's not a bad look right there. SNSE up a penny. This one we've had run up a few times. That's Sensei Biotherapeutics, and I think it's pulling back right here. SNSC. Oh, what did I just type in? SNSC. Here we go. Yeah, that one's just pulling back right there. So I think that one might have a little pullback in it. SNSC and WISA. This one's way down, I think, at 142. Yeah. This one's going to be a good setup, guys. WISA. So we might want to keep an eye on this one. It is getting curled up. It's looking good. It's a semiconductor one. It's way down there. And WISA could be a good setup. And again, it is just setting up right there. It's not ready yet, but it is going to be a good setup. So keep it on your list. SABS, SABS, SAB Biotherapeutics. This was, oh man, this was pulled back big time. SABS, big dip right there. I mean, it ran 413 to 524, down to 201, closed at 218, and looks like it's coming down. It almost looks like it's going to bounce off that bottom. Another one I would look at in the morning, guys. And today they announced positive top line phase one clinical results with potentially disease modifying T1D therapy SAB1, and it came down like 52%. I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but I have no idea. It was looking pretty good. It had momentum, and then it hit that bottom. I'd watch for a bounce on that thing. That's a crazy look right there on SABS. So that's what you want to look for in the morning for that. A little bounce. DRCT, Direct Digital Holdings. Let's see. That's just pulling back there. DRCT. Let's see what it's doing. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's trying to curl up, and it has to get up into this 147 to like 155 4 area, and it could probably get moving. I'm not so sure it's going to be ready tomorrow, but we'll see what it looks like and if it can set up right there. And JTAI is that Jet AI, and this was up 8 cents, and this one actually looks like it might have hit that bottom and could be getting set back up. JTAI, here we go. It would have to roll off that MACD. It's very possible. It looks like it's going to. So keep an eye on this JTAI. It could be setting up right there to roll off the MACD, and it's not looking too bad. And is that BGI? BGI Burks Group. This one's moving in the top. This might be a good momentum play in the morning, guys. BGI, I would watch it in the morning. It's in that top area. and they like to run up there. So if anything, it's definitely just a momentum play, real quick early in the morning. So you want to just watch for that one. And then that chance and international holding. Oh, excuse me. CHSN down 2 cents. I had that big dip the other day. It's still in the basement. We were watching it after that dip, and it's just not ready yet, I don't think. So we'll keep an eye on that because that's actually setting up probably in a week or two, and it will be a good one to bounce up. That one actually is one worthwhile to keep an eye on, CHSN. So keep an eye on that. And our OCGN, let's see what they're up to, is down a penny at 71 cents. And this thing is just kind of pulling back and looks like it might be going down here. So OCGN could be dipping down, honestly. It does look like it might be. Let's see. I don't see anything, but yeah, it does look like it could be dipping down. I don't know if it's going to hit that bottom and reset up to go back up. It could. I'm not saying it definitely has that look. So that is OCGN, and we'll have to take a look at it and see what it wants to do right there. And let's take a look at our MBIO Mustang Bio. This recently split. Actually, this one's looking pretty decent. Split January 16th. What did it do today? MBIO. It did run up a little, 403 to 670. It does look pretty good, guys. I would keep an eye on MBIO. It doesn't look bad right there. It could move some more tomorrow. And that True Golf, TRUG. Oh, if I could type it in right, TRUG, and that one is down 5 cents, and it's just pulling back again. We hit that like every time we mention it. We know it's going up. We hit it the other day on the 23rd, and it's just been pulling back now. So we'll wait for it again, and I'll let you know when it's going to tee off, and it'll go up the next time. So that is that True Golf TRUG. And we already looked at FFIE. I know that. And IEP, what is that one? IEP is Icon Enterprises in that channel right there. And it looks like it's going to stay in this channel, to be honest with you. IEP. Yeah, I don't see it coming out. That channel's like 1010 to 934, and it's at 985. So IEP, I don't see it just getting crazy or anything. And TNXP's been running up for us pretty well. And it looks like I'd keep an eye on this tomorrow. Maybe it'll run up there into the top area, TNXP. Oh, let me type it in. TNXP 40 to 58. And we looked at this way at the bottom down here when it was in the 20s, guys. And now it's at, like I said, 58 was a tie at 49. And it could still run up there tomorrow. Keep an eye on it. It's hitting the top, so it could easily bounce off that top. Make sure it gets in there if you're going to chase it and run it for a momentum play. That's TNXP and applied APLD. That one's still pulling back a little bit, not as hard, but it's still down there. It's got to set up a base. A lot of them do. So we'll keep an eye and see when that one wants to do it. LRHC. La Rosa Holdings. I think this is the one maybe Zach Morris had. I just happened to see him post it. And it's down at the bottom, just getting set up. It has a little time, LRHC. So, yeah, I think you have a little bit of time. And obviously, it'll bounce around that bottom. Could be that 36-cent area. It's at 42. So that's LRHC right there. And Icon, ICON, Icon Energy. Let's take a look at Icon because this one's going to be an icon. When it curls up, it's making a base down here, marine shipping, and ICON. Let's see. It did go 42 to 49. It closed at 43. And like I said, it's just going to it's not ready to curl up yet, but it's going to get set up. So give it some time. And that YIBO ran like crazy yesterday. And then today it was up. It was running around. It was a good one to trade because it did bounce around there 310 to 674. It closed at 474, and I don't know if it's going to run up much more tomorrow. We'll have to take a look at it, but it ran up like crazy the day before, so I wasn't so sure what it would do today. And that's a China Computer Hardware one. And there you go with that list. And let's bang out our laptop travel list and our Jolie's Jams. and then we'll just keep on jamming. So here we go. CMCL, let's look at it. Caledonian Mining, just kind of setting up on that line. CMCL. It's on the 20, a little bit of pullback today, so nothing real crazy. CRWS, Crown Crafts, and this one actually looks good to try to run up tomorrow. So CRWS, holy cow, that ran up yesterday, huh? What did that do? It actually came down. It's run up multiple times, like to $7, and it closed at 448 and ran the seven, and it closed at 448 again and ran the seven. So I guess when this thing closes at 448 area, I mean it's pretty wild. Holy cow, this thing's nuts. Keep an eye on the CRWS. It's got some crazy runs in it and all kinds of bouncing around. That's pretty crazy looking. And looks like it wants to do it again or something. I have no idea, but that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. EVCM, let's take a look at that one. EVCM EverCommerce, and this one's curling up. It's running up a little bit, not looking bad. EVCM. Let's see. Yeah, it's on that 20 curling up there. Should get up to that 50 at 11:20, and it's at 10:54. So should stay in that channel right there. It doesn't look bad. How about that G-Tim, that Good Times restaurant? It was just moving around today like flat. I looked at it, wasn't really moving up or down. We'll see what it says. 248 to 255, and its low is 247, and it's closed at 253. So like I said, it just kind of ran around, not much, and more stayed flat than anything, but still looks good to try to move up. So keep your eye on GTIM. And KFS, it looks like. KFS Kingsway Financial. Oh, this one's setting up real nice. It was up today, and it looks like it wants to try to keep going. 801 to 817. Closed at 812, and not looking bad right there. So keep an eye on that KFS. That's looking pretty good to set up. And good old Loop. Let's see what Loop Industries is doing. This is bouncing up a little higher. I know we looked at it a little lower. And today, 121 to 125, it's at 125. That 50's up at 128, and it's not looking bad for LOOP and MEC. Let's look at Mayville Engineering Company. This is in that channel, just pulled back into it today. So it was up yesterday, pulled back, and just watch for it to bounce around in that channel, I'm sure. And that's MEC and MVBF. MVB Financial. This one is trying to curl up. It looks like MVBF here. Yeah, it's getting to be in that channel right there. Not looking bad. 1940 to 1999. It's at 1985. And your 50's up there at 2071. So MVBF not looking bad right there. And OFS, I know we looked at OFS Capital before. It had a little pullback today. It might have been like a little dip and rip situation. 815 up to 817, then came down to 792, and it closed at 813. So we'll see if it really wants to run. It's in that channel and just had a little pullback. So interesting pullback. ONEW, ONU, One Water Main, and One Water Marine. I mean, not Maine, One Water Marine. If I could read, that has earnings coming up. What, the 30th, which is Thursday. So I wouldn't mess with this. It kind of looks like it could be pulling back, staying in that channel. We'll have to look at it later. And B. Riley Financial. Riley is curling up here. We've seen this thing run massively. So keep an eye on good old Riley. It's in that channel. Has the 50 at 494. This is at 484. And that one's not looking bad at all. So RILY. And let's see what Twin's doing right here. Good old TWIN. And that thing is curling up still. Just kind of flat running around, but not looking bad. Trying to. Oh, it did run up, it looks like, huh? This says 1140. We're at 1140, but it did run up to 1230. What did it open at? Yeah, it doesn't show me anything like that. It must have been up in the pre-market. It opened up at 1230, and then it came back down. So we were looking at it a couple days, and it does look like it bounced up. I'll have to look at it again. And how about SHIP, SHIP? Let's see what that one's doing. Just kind of pulling back right there. So that's not doing anything real crazy. Just in that channel, a little pullback. And there you go for them bad boys and AGFY. Let's look at Agrify, our Jolie's Jams right here. And I think Agrify is going to have to get set back up. I think it finally bottomed out right there between yesterday and today at that 1925. Today it came down to 1911. Maybe it will pull back a little bit more. So we'll have to look at it and see where Agrify is going to come back down to. But probably will be a good setup. I'm not going to lie. Um, Ran in the top real good, pulled back real nice, and now it's going to get set up. So we'll keep an eye on it. BLNK we looked at, and again, it's down there. It got into the basement, so we'll have to see how far down it wants to pull back into that basement. Sezzle's looking much better. SEZL. This one's about to bounce off the support line, and it is curling up SEZL. I wish they did have the options on it. They don't, but it looks good. So keep your eye on SEZL. It's at 235 and getting ready to move. And let's look at good old Rivian, RIVN, down 14 cents and just kind of sitting down there. I don't think it's ready yet. And it has earnings on February 20th, so they're a little far out, but I don't think it's ready to curl up just yet. And STRL got smashed down yesterday and some more today, so that one got crushed down. And we'll have to see if it gets into the basement, STRL. So we'll see what that one wants to do. And then let's look at SYM. Good old Symbotic was up today. And I think this one could try to get crawled off the MACD and running again. It has earnings on February 5th. It was up over $1, 82 or something. SYM 28.41 to 29.69. And it closed at 29.45 and does look good. So keep an eye on that Symbotic SYM. That's looking pretty nice right there at that 29.59. So there you go with your Jolie's Jams and your laptop travel list. And let's just keep on cruising. We'll go ahead, look at crypto. We'll look at our big caps and see what you guys want to see. Let's look at crypto. Bitcoin's back at 101, kind of pulling back a little bit. Ethereum's at 3,114. Ripple's at 307. And Solana's down at 230. And Cardano's was at 92. And we'll take a look at the rest of them and see what they're up to. Let's go ahead and hop into the app. Hold on. Let me jump into the app, see what we're looking at right here, and see what the charts are looking like because they weren't looking hefty. Bitcoin 101, like I said, right under 102 right there, and we'll see what it looks like. It was still above the 200, or yeah, or no, the 50. I mean, I'm sorry, it was above the 50 and the 200's way under it for Bitcoin, and it still looks like it's going to maintain above it. So I don't think it's getting crushed down right there, and that's Bitcoin. Ethereum's at 3,114, and let's see. And again, that one is between the channel, the 200's below it, the 50's coming down, and I don't think it's going to go under that 200. So it's just going to stay in that little channel, it looks like. Solana's back to 230, and let's see what we're doing right here. And it is kind of just pulled back from yesterday, trying to make that base. It did curl down coming through, but I don't know how much it's really going to get pushed down. Your 50's underneath of it, your 200's under that. So I would say it's pretty safe right there. Solana and Cardano's at 92 cents. And let's look at it. It is just kind of in that it's the 50's curled down over top of it, so it could push it down a little bit more, and it is crossed down, so Cardano could come down a little bit, to be honest with you. And let's look at Doge. It's at 32 right now, and let's see where it's at. It does look like it's trying to base out and head cross down. I think Doge is going to look a little better. That 50's the 50's coming down. I think it's going to have to meet it, and the Doge will get back over it and have to jump back up at that point. So that's what Doge looks like. And let's look at Ripple. That's at 307. And let's see what that's doing right here. And that one just took a nice dip yesterday, and it's ready to get rock and rolling again, guys. So Ripple not looking too bad. It is crossed through coming down on the MACD, but it does not look bad at all. And that's XRP, good old Ripple. And let's take a look. Chainlink's at $23. And let's look at our bonk. That's been doing pretty bad, actually. and it looks like it's probably down right now from the looks of it. And yeah, it's way down there under the fifth, under the 200. The 50's coming down, and it's down there. It looks like it's making a base down here. So that is bonk. And like I said, that is down. And there you go with crypto right there. And of course, I'll look at ETF 500. Let's see where we're at with that one at the moment. I know it was under three when I came on. Let's see. And again, everything's kind of down a little bit. So yeah, this one's down. It's at 0.02350. So it did make a little, it made a little, it might have to pull back a hair to make another little base. So we'll just watch, see if it does pull back. It was looking pretty strong, but with Bitcoin and everything pulling back right now, obviously it's going to pull back a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And I would say just let it pull back a hair and then get that next little base, and then it'll be rolling right back up. So that'll be our ETF 500. And like I said, you do have a little bit of pullback everywhere. So it's not the end of the world. And that's what you deal with when you get some big run ups. You're going to get some pullback so it can run back up to the next level. So I think that's just what you're seeing right there. And that's what I'm looking at. So yeah, if it pulls back, I might have to scoop up some more on that pullback too, because it will be going up to that next level. And I'll keep you guys posted, obviously. And yeah, everything's kind of pulled back right there with crypto world. So keep an eye on that for sure. Let's go through our SPY and them guys because they were up today. The big caps mag 7 SPY was up $5 up to 604 again, and looks good to get up there tomorrow. So I think the SPY looks good to continue to run up. So that's a good look. And let's take a look at the other ones. Apple was up 840, looking good. It wants to curl through and keep running. Amazon, let's look at it. AMZN, that was up another $2 and looking good to run up into that top. And Google, that was up 330, and that looks kind of good to try to crawl back up. Just keep an eye on it, make sure it can cross through. And Meta, what I tell you guys, Zuck has something crazy going on. Just be careful though, because his earnings are coming out tomorrow on Wednesday. So I would be extremely careful. It's hitting that top. I wouldn't mess with it, but I told you guys it was running up, and it sure did, big time right there. Meta. So there you go with that one. And Microsoft MSFT was up like $12 and looking good, and still looks pretty nice right there. And Nvidia, that one was up $10 again and trying to get cruising and rebound from yesterday. So we'll see if Nvidia can get really popped up over this resistance at 129 and get rolling tomorrow if it can. And let's look at Tesla. That one was up like 94 cents. It's definitely setting up. They have their earnings coming up. Is that tomorrow, the 29th? Yes, it is. So let them have their earnings. I think it's going to pull back. Going to be a great dip opportunity, possibly. And then we'll rock Tesla. We'll keep an eye on it. I won't mess with it for earnings, that's for sure. AMC does look like it's trying to set up down here, and like I said, it looked like that one's going to be trying to get set up. That Unity, I think, was down again, wasn't it? Oh, it was up $1.50, huh? I thought it was down. No, it's curling back up right now, Unity. So maybe Roaring Kitty bought some more, and Chewy. This one was only down 9 cents, but it's still right there, and it looks like it wants to try to get up there and bounce into that top. We'll have to look at it tomorrow. Maybe it made a base, or maybe it wants to get cruising. It looks like it's setting up to get popped up there. So that's what CHWY looks like. And obviously, we looked at how about GameStop? That one is curled up too, so not looking bad. We'll look at it tomorrow. But yeah, AMC's not looking too bad. Unity looks like it is curling back up on the U. And yeah, a couple of them looking good. And obviously, Chewy's been running up there, not looking bad to run back up higher. Netflix, let's look at it. NFLX. NFL X. There we go. Netflix. And this one was down a little bit. Didn't they have earnings recently? Yeah, they just had them and they crushed it. That's right. It was in the top. It looks like it's trying to curl back up there. We'll have to look at it to see what it wants to do up there. Netflix and AVGO. These guys bounced back up a little bit, but they had a huge dip yesterday, so we'll watch that. MU was still down a little bit, so watch that one pull back. And TSM was up $10. We'll see it. They're not looking like they want to totally get bounced back up, so we'll have to keep an eye on them. They were nice bounce plays. We knew it was an overreaction, so we'll see how they look tomorrow. The market does look like it does wants to look good, the SPY, but you just never know. The SMCI is down today and pulling back right there for that one. AMD, I'm telling you, this thing's getting set up. Let it pull back and get that bottom because it's going to be a great one real soon. AMD. And let's see, what else are we looking at? QCOM. That was up again, and it looks like it's trying to curl back up there, so that's looking good. And good old Intel, that one's actually pulling back. That setup changed, like I said. They was looking great, and then all of a sudden it changed the other day. So I don't know what happened to Intel, but they lost out on something. You could see it, and it wasn't good for them because it went from looking great to actually looking like it was pulling back here. So that's how quick they can change. And PayPal, that's actually pulling back. I was surprised it wasn't bouncing off today. It usually does try to bounce off of there. So we'll have to see if it wants to curl through, come down, and go down a little bit. That snow is up. And we said that was looking good, and it ran right up into the top. It was up like 1250, so that was a good one. And Dell, this one's going to have to get set back up. It's down at the bottom down there, so we'll have to keep an eye on Dell. And let's take a look at PLTR. That was up 479. Like I said, you never want to be short in this one right now. And same with that Sophia. These things just keep bouncing off them 20s. They're not even going through them. It's crazy. And Mara was down a little bit, but I have a feeling Mara and Riot are going to try to get set up now. So keep an eye on them. Riot came way down. It was looking great before. It had a nice pullback, hitting that support line down here. It could pull back a little bit more, and we'll keep an eye on that. Mara's looking a little better at the moment. MicroStrategy was down, and just let this one get set back up. So you can tell Bitcoin's just kind of rattled at the moment. And CLSK, that's pulled back, and that's going to get set up. So they look like they might need a month or so, or a couple weeks at least. Coin is pulling back. It'll probably try to roll off that MACD and stay in that channel. Not looking bad. And DJT, the Trump media, was down, but it looks like it's basing out down here at this $30 area. So we'll look and see if it does and see when it wants to get moving. That fund was setting up. I'm telling you, Funware is setting up to get moving, guys. So keep an eye on PHUN because that's looking good. And our MTN pulled back. It was looking great yesterday, popped up. It had that pullback look. Maybe it's going to pop back up tomorrow. I'm not even sure what happened to that, but that Val Resorts was looking good. And that quick, it just pulled back. And McDonald's was ripping up there, and then they kind of have a little healthy pullback. Not that anything at McDonald's is healthy, but the pullback is. Boeing, this thing was cruising up there, and they do have, did they have earnings today? They did have earnings. I don't even know if they were good or not, but I don't even think it matters. They just probably keep getting contracts. 175 to 188, it closed at 177. So it did run up today. It was looking good, and it is looking really good to continue its way up for Boeing. So not exactly sure what's going on, but they had earnings, and obviously Boeing's aerospace and defense getting a bunch of contracts probably with trying to boost up our aerospace and defense, which isn't a bad thing, but holy cow, hopefully Boeing's making something right. SPCE space is down more, and like I said, this company just doesn't look good anymore. Virgin Galactic, I don't know what happened to them, but they just kind of fell apart. And IBM, that is up $1.53, and that's actually looking really good right there. But they have earnings coming up, what, tomorrow? So keep an eye on it. Their earnings look like they may be really good for some reason. So keep an eye on IBM because that, I don't like earnings, but last time we said that was Netflix, and it went up like crazy. So I'm just letting you know I might not mess with it. I'll have to look at it tomorrow, but IBM does look pretty decent tonight. Disney. that was down a little bit. It had run up there and it's just a little healthy pullback. It looks like nothing crazy. And then we had our or Oxy, I mean, was down a hair, and Exxon Mobil was pulled back too. So them two were coming down today. And good old Nike was down, but it's still set up. It looks like healthy pullback in that channel. It was down like $1. And DXYZ was down 210, and that one's getting set up. So all over the place for everything. It's kind of crazy. You had your Mag 7 up, a lot of other things were down, things were pulled back. Everything's all over the place. So, and penny stocks, I'm telling you, are just like the toughest thing ever anymore. So, there you go for your Mag 7, your SPY, your big caps, your crypto, your Jolie's jams, your laptop travel list, and everything else you guys wanted to look at. Now let's go through and see what you guys are posting up here. I'll go through the messages and see, and let's take a look. Icon, we already did that one. PLTR call options were up nicely today. I bet they were. 6% and 36. There you go, Luis Rodriguez. INTC earnings are this Thursday. I wouldn't mess with that for INTC. Intel, I don't know what happened with them, but their earnings must be bad. I didn't even see that. It was but yeah, you're right, the 30th. So it looks like they're coming down for their earnings and then probably popping back up. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And let's see what else is going on here. Meta's top heavy. I would have to say absolutely right. I would be real careful with Meta. Didn't we say they had their earnings too coming up? Yeah, their earnings. I would say I'd be very careful with their earnings, like I was saying. I would definitely be locking in them profits and not playing that game. Icon recently filed a 13G and closed an offering at 1.3 million, massive dump after announcement, offering closed and reversed soon. So that's Icon, and yeah, we've been looking at that for a few days now, and is way down there. We started looking at it when it did dip down there pretty good. So there you go at ICON. Thank you for that one. Let's see what else is going on here. Let me just keep scrolling down, see what else you guys want to look at. Boom, boom, boom. Dip, yeah, for ETF 500, it is going to be a little nice dip right there. So, absolutely, you want to line them up and get them at the right time because when it starts moving, it'll be moving. People want to chase it when it's moving up, but when they catch them dips, they're the best because you know it's going to go back up. So, we'll keep an eye on it. SBEV Splash Beverage. This one looks pretty decent and curling up. I would keep an eye on this. Looks like it might try to run up tomorrow a little more. It was running today, 20 to 27, closed at 22. It looks like it's trying to cross through that MACD, so that doesn't look too bad right there. Um, and yeah, have some safe travels, laptop travel. He's taking off. And that CRKN reverse split for for 30 right there. Let's see. Whoop, I just typed that all crazy. I know we talked about it. When is the reverse split? They're coming up. Effective date of reverse split stock. Yeah, they did announce something today, didn't they? CRKN. When is it? One for 150, and that's taking place on Thursday. So wow, stay out of that thing. One for 150. I'm telling you, these things are just diluting everything. It's yeah, on 130. I thought you wrote one for 30. John Hong, that was me reading it wrong. You're absolutely right. Reverse split on 130, and it's one for 150. Holy cow, that's wild. So yeah, these things are just diluting the hell out of everything, guys. It's crazy. I'm telling you. That's why these penny ones are just not really that fun anymore. They're just crazy all over the place. What else is going on here? Let me scroll down. Laptop travel was leaving. SXTP we looked at that China list and Wolf WOLF. Then we looked at the other Wolf WULF, and this Wolf Speed. This one has earnings coming up tomorrow, it looks like, and then I think it's going to get set up, guys. So that one's going to have that Wolf Speed coming up. just not ready yet. Let the earnings come down, and I think that'll be a good one. About to trigger a buy signal ahead of earnings tomorrow. Could be the perfect storm. We'll see. It's sitting right there on that line. It could pull back a little bit. Well, I'll look at it in the morning. Remind me, Wolf. I'll write it down real quick. WOLF. We'll look at it tomorrow, Luis Rodriguez, see how it opens up, what it looks like in the morning. And there's some other Chinese ones. That ZKIN, wasn't that like way up yesterday? Yeah, it ran up some more today, as a matter of fact. EJH we looked at, TC we already looked at, and JYD. That one was running up there, and that one honestly could be a momentum play tomorrow, guys. So keep an eye on JYD in the morning because that could be a little momentum play. Um, I think Barber agrees too to weed out most of the duds and focus on what can save time and bring gains. I agree with the pennies. It's like two steps forward and one back. Lost some on B hat today at closing, got out quick, small loss. Thank goodness. Yeah, I'm telling you, these ones, I think B hat was it. Like, how do you have three offerings in a week? And then I know the delisting, that's the NASDAQ gives you that, but then you got a NASDAQ you get the delisting notice right after that. I mean, that's insane, guys. So, I mean, that's just like a that's the writing on the wall right there. That it's just almost set up for failure. It's extremely tough, and if we focus on like Moderna, for example, like mRNA for tomorrow, I think you'll be pretty solid. Their earnings are coming up. It looks pretty curled up, looks pretty good. We'll look at it in the morning. But yeah, Moderna looks like it could run up a little higher. And we'll look at some of them bad boys and we'll obviously look at it. And again, this is only a $44 stock. So you can do options on it any which way. It's not that expensive. Way safer than trying to get into them. Into the penny stocks. Even if you buy shares and you only buy a few and it goes up like a couple dollars, what did it go up today? 329. So you can make more safely on these bad boys than basically gambling and losing money on the penny stocks, I feel like right now. So LICN has an offering coming in. Let's see. Did we say that? Announces a $3.4 million registered offering. There's another one. That's why it pulled back there. Thank you, Scott, for pointing that one out. And I mean, how many of them have we gone through? That's either an offering, a reverse split, a something, a this, or that. It's absolutely bizarre, guy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I guess if everyone stops trading penny stocks, they'll stop doing that stuff. So I guess that's what it's going to take, to be honest with you. Earnings, I'll post this out, Luis Rodriguez. That's perfect right there. He has them broken down on all the days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all of them. So you have like Tesla, Microsoft, IBM, ASML, and Meta all tomorrow. Thank you, Luis Rodriguez. And how's ASML looking? Let's look at it. ASML. Let's see what that's doing here. ASML. ASML Holdings, they do have their earnings tomorrow. I would let that just have its earnings and then we'll watch it after, like usual. And yeah, we could definitely get into that one when it's ready. And B Hat, like I said, they had the notice today. And then here's some good ones from Luis Rodriguez. We didn't look at these from the beginning. GSOL. Let me take a peek at this. GSOL. What is that one? Hold on. I don't even see that one. GSOL. Oh, oh, that's that Grayscale one. All right. Grayscale Solana Trust. And that's actually pulling back right now. It could try to roll off of that line. We'll have to see. It did kind of top out up here at that 32.94 the other day. So it did come under the 20 right there. And we'll have to see if it does pull back and if it curls down. That's an interesting one right there, GSOL. And NBIS, let's look at that one, that Nubius group. And this one is trying to bounce back up. It had a nice dip yesterday. NBIS. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to. I'm not 100% sure it'll bounce hard tomorrow, but it was trying to today. AMDL, that's the AMD, like us, the ETF two times. And like I said, this thing's getting set up, guys. Just let it pull back a little bit, AMD, AMDL, and they will be really good ones really soon. MongoDB, MDB, this one's moving up like 19 something and looks really good to try to run up some more. MDB, I don't even know if I've ever heard of that one, but MongoDB, that looks really good right there. MDB. So we'll have to take a look at that one and see what that wants to do. Not looking bad. And how about my buddy Luminen with the good flashlights? It has earnings coming up on February 4th. It was just kind of pulling back, and I think it's hitting that bottom area now and it's going to try to get set up. It could even try to roll off that MACD and really get moving. So we'll keep an eye on Lumina, and that one doesn't look bad. So we will keep an eye on that. And how about Sirius XM, SIRI? And that is Sirius XM. They have earnings coming up tomorrow on the 30th or Thursday. I'm sorry, on the 30th. It does look kind of curled up there. I obviously wouldn't mess with it with the earnings, but it's not looking bad to run for Sirius. So it's not looking too bad for them. Let's see. Anything else? And I think we got everything there. I knew that one was the first one. Joe's buying the dip on ETF 500, so there you go. Perfect. Like I said, you'll see me buying more. I promise you, I'm in it, so I'll be buying it, and I got plenty already, and I'll be buying more. It's gonna move. It's just you're gonna have some pullbacks. That's the way it works. So. They run up, they pull back, and then they get ready for that next run up there. They couldn't just possibly keep running up. It just doesn't work that way. So we already know that, and we're fine. Um, Let's read the stories. Tech stocks rebound in Asia as DeepSeek worries ease. Stock futures are a little changed as investors await Federal Reserve's interest rate decision. Asian stocks advance on tech rebound ahead of Fed. Yeah, isn't the Fed talking tomorrow? Tesla to report earnings as Musk relationship with Trump looms. And Microsoft earnings results will take a backseat to burning DeepSeek questions. So. Microsoft. That one was looking really good. Let me see. When's their earnings are like tomorrow, MSFT? I don't even know. I forgot. Uh, they are coming up. You can see it. Yep, tomorrow. They definitely tomorrow. And yeah, I wouldn't mess with it. It looks like it has that resistance there at that 450 and it's going to hit it. So I would be careful with Microsoft, but I mean, we can take a look at it again. Them earnings are just a little crazy. Let's see what's going on the stock twits and see what's happening over there. Let me look over here. Come on, stock twits. Here we go. Oh yeah, BABA, that was up today. Remember we were saying that was looking good a couple weeks ago, and it was at like $80. It's at 96. I remember it was down there at that line, that support line. So yeah, it was in the 80s somewheres. I don't know if it was 81, 82. I just know it was in the 80s and it's at 96 now, and that's BABA. And let's see, SBUX, isn't that Starbucks? SBUX, Starbucks. That's looking good tomorrow. They do have earnings. I think they had earnings today, it looks like, and it must have been good. It looks like it wants to kind of run into the top tomorrow. So keep an eye on that Starbucks 99 to 106. It's at 100. So keep an eye on Starbucks. They must have had something good going on. And RDDT, it looks like. RDDT, Reddit, that's Reddit. And Reddit's looking really good, as a matter of fact. So RDDT is looking nice right there. That's up. And they have earnings coming up as well on February 12th, but that's looking nice. So Reddit, keep an eye on. That WIF, that was way down today, that coin. And I can look at it for you as it came way down. And we'll see what it wants to do here. WIF, let's see. I'll look at it on here. There it is. Yeah, it was way down. I think it bottomed out there at that 97 cents. And that is the one that Laptop Travel's wife used to look at, that WIF. So it did come way down under $1. And it did look like it was trying to bounce back up for that one. And PL, I don't even know. What's that? Planet Labs. That one's running up there. I'm not sure what they do. PL is aerospace and defense, and that one does look pretty good to try to run up into the top. AMD pulling back a hair, ASML pulling back, and Microsoft was up. So there you go with them bad boys. And that HAO, let's look at that one real quick. HAO. And that one just reverse split yesterday, and it's already popping up today. Keep an eye on it because it could get cruising tomorrow, guys. So look at that HAO, and that is a China small cap, and it did reverse split in the right spot to try to run up like crazy tomorrow. So I would look at that one, HAO. That could be a wild one tomorrow. So look at that bad boy right there. And let's go ahead and look and see what's going on the scanner and stuff. And we'll call it an evening here. Let's look and see if I see anything that jumps out at me. NVIDIA, we already know. TNXP, HEPA, SLXN, we've already looked at everything. JetBlue took a nice dip today. What even happened there? I have no idea. Let's see. They plummeted. I don't know why it plummeted. It's whatever. Did they have earnings? They had earnings. It looked like it was green today. So it went down because their earnings might have been good. I have no idea. Like I say, I would be wrong every time. TRIB, Rhyme was pulled back a little. RGTI, we looked at all this stuff. Ford, that's trying to get set up. Let me look at F, the letter F for Ford. And it is. It has earnings coming up on February 5th, and it's trying to get set up. So we'll look at it. It's not ready yet, but it could get set up right there. Good old Apple was going up there. And Holo, that actually is looking good. We talked about that one already, and we'll see if it can get cruising tomorrow. Very well could possibly get moving. ABEV, this one looks pretty decent. ABEV. And yeah, that one doesn't look too bad right there, curling up off the 20. INTC we looked at, WULF, and Lucid. This one could be trying to bottom out and make a base finally, so we'll look at it. And LICN, they had like an offering today, go figure, so it wasn't down enough. They had to do an offering. How about BACK? Remember we looked at it, that IMAC Holdings, and said it was going to go up. It went up today, 137 to 156 at least. Let me see what it did in the pre-market or whatever. 141 to 209. I thought it was higher. And so yeah, remember BACK? I was saying, look at that for a momentum play early. It did exactly that, and that was BACK. What's T? AT&T. That's up there. And anything else? Nothing I see right there. That B hat had a delisting letter and nothing over there. Let me just check the volume side, see if I see anything here. Um, we already covered all that stuff. We covered STSS and all these bad boys and all that. And that RNAZ, that one could run up a little higher tomorrow, guys. Keep an eye on that transcode thing. We were looking at it the other day. I said it was going to run up off the 20, and it's been run up there. It got up to like $16. It might run even higher there. So RNAZ. Keep an eye on that one. Maybe that'll run up for us tomorrow a little bit more. And what else do I see? NVVE. What's this one? Hold on. Let me take a look at it. It looks like it's trying to run up in the after hours. Let me look. NNVE real quick. Oh, what happened to that? Well, let me put the right thing in. It's NVVE, so don't listen to me. NVVE, it did run in the after hours, 290 to 439. It's back at 290, so maybe it didn't run in the after hours. Let me see. No, it ran in the regular hours. Um, yeah, this one looks kind of crazy, guys. We'll have to keep an eye on that NVVE. That one could run up again. And let me just see if there's anything else grabbing my attention real quick. That BGI might run up some more. I think we looked at it yesterday. It was a luxury goods. I don't even know, Burks Group. That's what it was, and it looks like it might run up into the top tomorrow. So keep an eye on BGI. That one's looking pretty decent right there for some momentum. And let's see if there's anything else right real quick. Um, that one right there maybe. HEPA we already looked at. We've already talked about HEPA and OMGA. Let me see what that looks like right here. And that looked like it was trying to run up today. So let me see Omega. OMGA. OMGA. 46 to 67. It's at 50 and it does look good. So keep an eye on that too. OMGA. So there's a couple of them. HAO, OMGA. What else? That BGJ and that RN. What is it? RVAC. What was that one? What is that? RV something. What is that? I just said it earlier. I don't even remember what I said. Whatever it is. It was up today. Let me look. Hold on. Um, Hold on, I'll find it. I just said it. My brain's like fried. Uh, RNAZ, that's it. RNAZ. Yeah, if I could read my writing, I wrote it down, couldn't even read what I wrote. RNAZ. That one looks good to try to run up some more, and it was up today. So let's look at Fubu real quick, and we'll see what that looks like for Joey. Let's see, Fubo TV, not Fubu, the clothing designer, but Fubo, the TV thing. We ran this way up there to the top. It looks like it is making a base, Joey, and trying to get based out here. Let me look at it in the after hours. FUBO. I'm sorry, FUBO. And yeah, it looks like it is trying to. I could see it trying to curl back up right here. Look at it tomorrow. It should try to get curled back up. That bottom should be a 351. It's at 395, 391 area. Just watch for any little quick and dip and rip situations right there, but not looking bad for FUBO. So there you go, guys. I would say that's a pretty good market review. And you guys know we'll be back at 7 a.m. to do pre-market and break it all down again and see what's going to be popping. So every day is an exciting day. You just never know what's going to happen, and that's why it's always something different. So it keeps it interesting and it keeps it going. One day can be red like yesterday, and then they bounce right back today. I wouldn't say they're bouncing all the way back, but they get moving again. You get great opportunities off that bottom, and you get cruising. So there you go, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all the feedback, sending in all the messages and everything else. It's awesome. So yeah, Laptop Travel, thanks for your list all the time. And Doge Mama 9 and Profit Logics, John Wong, Jay Kratz, O'Hare's Bastard Child, Lewis Rodriguez, Jay, Joseph J, and Joey and Rich, Bong Chan, and serial winners right there. And who else is here? Brian and Diepack and Sinai, Buddy, Lynn, Deleted, Michael, Zach, Savage, Ross, and so many other people on there. I greatly appreciate everybody hanging out always. And again, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Let me know if you guys want to see anything. We'll look at it. We'll go over it in the morning. We'll go through our laptop lowdowns, our Jolie's jumpers, and of course our SPY and everything else, and we'll see what crypto's looking like. Hopefully it's looking a little bit better. Just a lot of pullback right here after yesterday. They can't just bounce immediately, so you got to see that dust settle and start to move back. So we'll keep an eye on things and we'll know it's moving. And again, that HAO is looking like it might run tomorrow morning, so you guys know it's going to be popping early. Keep an eye on them things, you 4 a.m.ers on Webull, and make sure you trade smart. And until then, I'll see you guys in the morning at 7 a.m. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the morning.